So then our very first final here at the England Touch Association Nationals, and it's the Midlands Tigers men. They've scored 41 tries in this competition and are certainly the heavily favoured side against the Saxons, who are on the tack to begin with and might be diving in for a score. Rob Emery with the effort, but given the two sides we have in front of us, hopefully it'll be a high-scoring one, Joe.
Oh, I have absolutely no doubt. These are two sides that really want to go forward. Super talented in attack. Defence is a little bit left wanting, but it should make up for a really big, really high-scoring affair.
Well, Mant is just caught there. So away go these Midlands Tigers players. Flying down the left, Charlie Rigby.
Yeah, it's a good transition, getting the fresh legs on. Yeah, that's good pace injected.
Jean-Francois Popoff at number 1.
Some name. Scoop now.
Popoff again, good offload, scything through the tackles. Bingley. Yes. Try given.
Yeah, Josh Bingley's one that I had in my men's 45s. Super aggressive from link. Loves to run those holes, and what a good start. So what is the first final of the Nationals? I'm hoping it's going to set the tone going into finals day tomorrow.
And finals day is indeed what we have tomorrow. We start off with a bit of action from the men's 30s pools, and then it's semi-final, 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 and then 4 finals in a row.
Yes.
That is the schedule. And this, our very first final. And it's the Saxons back on the attack through Ben Chappell. Penalty, Joe?
Yeah, it's a fair call, foot in the ruck. And for the Saxons now, what I'd like to see is some patience. Use all 6 touches. Don't throw the ball away on 1. 32 short coming, Rapper is there. Looks to go long. They do go long, dive in the corner, but the covering touch is good. And that second touch now.
Well, it must be said that we have already seen this game today, Joe.
Yeah.
At 9 o'clock this morning, it was the Tigers against the Saxons, and it was a 5-3 victory for the Tigers on that occasion.
So that's unfortunate. So forward pass come, and I think that was on 3rd, 4th touch coming. The Saxons unfortunately cough up possession and sort of let the Tigers off the hook a little bit.
And they've transitioned well, and they're up to halfway.
Yeah, the Tigers do transition really well. It's very effective, efficient work, getting the fresh legs on the field. And now they'll be able to strike and get some tired legs. Rapper comes, Rapper receives, steps around the outside, pops the ball to the wing. Ball was away. The winger just overrun his line. It was in front of the place, had to turn around and try and catch behind the back. And if they could fix that depth, he would have been flying in the corner.
Tino, I'm just giving you a warning, you're stood next to the mic.
Well, he just couldn't keep a hold of it there.
just telling you, I haven't heard anything.
Good work there from the Saxons, getting fresh legs on. There's gap appearing. That's 5th. Good strike dump. Steps to go open side. Looks to run to support on the wing. Goes all the way through. He is still half, but snuffed out in the end.
Touch there. The very last, and that will turn possession back over, and it's the Midlands Tigers. 40s who are diving on here. Into contact they go.
Yeah, good footwork again. Good work there from Josh Bingley. The ball just goes to ground, and they've done really well to save a touch and get towards the 7 for the 5th and final touch. Just at the last moment, ball goes to ground.
Well, I must correct myself, of course. It was the 50s that we saw earlier today. It was the same matchup between these two players. But of course, now it's the 40s, so a different set of players, although the same programme. And it was a win for the Tigers in the 50s when these sides met.
Oh, good
diving
dive
for the line.
That's good. Score's good.
Well, the score has been given. It's Popoff who's there.
Yeah, it's lovely play getting underneath, and that's the benefit of having that long dive. Ball in one hand, getting underneath, good, quickie, and yep, ball is down right on the toes of the covering defenders.
Francois Popov with the second try of the final, 2 for the Tigers, and he's having a really good game.
Yeah, assisted one, scored another. Popov seems to be the focal point for this Tigers attack so far in the final.
Westlake. Chappell. Westlake finds a hard runner and Will Lush intercepted, and away they go. The Midlands Tigers called back. Stuart Cullen saw nothing but green grass ahead of him, but just caught.
Yeah, it was a good effort, really good read from the winger. Oh, good yards made through the middle of the Saxons midfield.
Driving run from Jones. Hickson. Little. Hancock skipping around Chappell, but he's caught, but still the attack is on. Great footwork from Hancock, but he is caught, and that's the 6.
Yeah, it's a good option again, though. And Tigers getting always close to the line. And for the Saxons, it's worrying signs to begin with in the final, because Tigers are getting to your line very easily on their transition. And you can't ever feel like if they can get a couple of repeat sets, really be stressing the Saxons' defence. And it's moments like this that the Saxons just need to go forward. Good hands.
Well taken by Johnson.
Yeah, touch is good. They're looking for a hard touch call, but they won't get it. Looks like it's a little bit worse for wear.
Lush on the switch, Johnson again, and that's the end of the most recent Saxons attack.
Yeah, it's the speed of the turnover from the Tigers that is, really setting them apart. Is they don't wait around, they don't want to take a breath in, they just roll the ball and get going.
That's some take from Popov as well. Under a bit of pressure. Bingley, Popov feeds Bingley. Back to Popov.
Here we go. Options.
Hall. Back to Bingley, who's caught. And this time the Saxons escape.
Yeah, Saxons now rolling into the transition. Looks a little bit better there. Moving a little bit more fluid. It's this touch that causes them a bit of problems, and it looks like it will do again, because they're static coming on to third. A little bit better.
Percival down a hat, back into play. Lynn. Mant. Well, it was Mant to his second time of asking for it, and then it was turned over. And away come the Midlands Tigers. Well, it's a little bit loose there, regathered well, and the referee's calling it back, Joe.
Yeah, it's a good turnover from the Saxons. First time they put proper pressure on the Midlands Tigers transition, and they do get their reward for it. And can't help but feeling like this game, it seems like there's a lot of tired legs out there. It's been a long day of touch, and I think this game's going to be decided by which team's going to dig the deepest and work the hardest. At the moment, Tigers are up in that category. Saxons forcing some errors.
Mant putting a bit of wheels to the line. And Mant has it back as well. Lynn. Good ball to find Percival. Mant. Percival lifts it.
So it seems like everyone's sort of running different lines, just want one consistent call.
Lynn will tap back into play by Kendall, but not accurately enough to keep the attack alive. So the Tigers, who lead by 2 tries, will work their way out from their own defensive area. That's a lovely timed ball.
Yeah, it's really clean. Good first initial dump again. Foot in the ruck there for me. See if the referees agree.
Bit of contact from a Saxon player. So we'll see how the sides reset.
I think it's just going to take the touch. They do. So no penalty, just taking the touch again.
Hancock hands it off. And there's a man over. Touch made by Kendall.
And that's 5th touch. So as much as there was an opportunity to go around the outside, you're not going to create something with no touches afforded to you. Ball goes flat and wide. Good option to the winger. Winger looks to go around the outside.
Oh, well, maybe they are going to create something. Alistair Dobson They only had one touch to play with, and they just managed to find a bit of space on that left-hand side. Some lovely hands, and Dobson had the pace to get outside of any of the on-rushing Saxons defenders.
Yeah, just squares up the winger and then kicks on the outside. Really good option. And I mean, it was a very tight affair this morning, and so far it doesn't seem like it's going to continue in that vein. And it's a turnover again from the Saxons, so Midlands Tigers really starting to build the pressure.
Go on, Saxons!
Well, they might look to run away with this game, but they are far and away the top scorers in this 40s competition. Well, this is a really excellent attack. Popov diving in. Two hands go up to say, we've got him.
Yeah, it's a good touch again. A better defensive structure from the Saxons.
Popov is there at the half as well, and he's over into the goal line, searching for support. Well, eventually it will fall to Matthew Hall, and it is given as well. Popov, the creator again. Matt Hall just crashes over after Stuart Cullen's fumble.
Yeah, it's a little bit fortunate. Falls into the path of the oncoming Tigers link. The Midlands Tigers at the moment, it's just all one way. Defensively, they look sound. In attack, they look potent. And Tigers need to find a way of holding Saxons out, and Saxons need to find an opportunity. At the moment, it's just a little bit too easy for the Tigers to defend against.
Johnson searching for options, finds it in Stewart.
Ladies.
Has a penalty to play with at least. Johnson. Niebuhr. Well, we saw what Richard Niebuhr was after. He wanted someone rushing onto that short line, but it's gone to ground, and here come the Tigers once more.
Yeah, it's that first touch from the Tigers transition, just takes the Saxons midfield out the game. It's a really dominant touch, and here's another one, ready? Bang, good platform for the transition, and then the speed at which they cannon onto the ball.
David Little almost away. Building something nicely here. There's a short line for Little to crash over.
It's a lovely line. Unfortunately, I think the ball's just gone forward. It has. Oh, no. Yeah, referees are happy. It seems to be a little bit of a discussion there. I'm not sure why. The score is given regardless, and a lovely short line hitting through the gap. And the Midlands Tigers are running away with it. 4 becomes 5. We've still got 7 minutes to go in this first half.
Well, yes, we're still in the first half here, but the writing's on the wall a little bit for the Saxons. Alistair Mant looking to change their fortunes. Percival, Lynn. Good line from Mant.
Hip's not square though. Good call by the referee. Brings the play back and again gives the Tigers an opportunity to roll in to this dangerous transition.
Well, when it rains it pours really for the Saxons. Not getting the rub of the green from the referee either, it seems. And they're up over halfway once again. Not for the first time in this game. That's a good line, picked out by Kenny, and then through the hole they go. Diving touch comes in. And it's...
penalty.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Offside.
A great diving touch, but offside was the call.
Yeah, it was a really good diving touch. But unfortunately,
Jones with the tap.
Hadn't quite hit the line.
Jones again. Little. Good ball. Well, it was finished, but was there a touch before? Looks like that's the case. Little takes the touch. It's a lovely pass, 2-on-1. Great hands. Cullen is in.
so good, so good. Just your basics done to the max. Catch and pass again. We've said it so many times today. Sometimes that's all you need. Just have the core skills to receive the pass, give a flat ball out to your support players. And as you say, the writing is on the wall for the Saxons as Midlands Tigers don't look like they're going to let up, and we see why. They've scored so many tries in this division.
They already lead by 6. Wonder how many more they'll add to that tally before the game is up. Can the Saxons get on the board before half-time? Chappell. Lush scything through. Told to return. Westlake at the half. Lush. Good quick hands to try and evade the high press, but Hancock gets a hold of him. Westlake. Lush. Looking to free the hands, but the ball goes to ground. It's just not happening for the Saxons.
No, and it's all to do with the Tigers' defensive pressure, because the Saxons are running pretty similar structures to what we saw in the morning, and it seems like the Tigers have become aware to that and no longer affording them some free space and are really narrow, forcing them to play wide. And here's another opportunity for the Tigers to go all the way through. Ball goes to the winger, but the covering touch is made. And again, it's another really good example of they end up just folding through the Saxons midfield, and they're now into the red zone with a couple touches to spare.
Cullen was away, but Chappell got back to make the touch. For now, here's Foster. Foster with options.
He just overrun the line slightly. The Sonny Bill out the back.
Rigby did well to get it away.
Really well to get it away, and unfortunately support players just a little bit too far in front.
Well, a hole opened up through the centre, and the Saxons are rumbling on.
He's there. That is that touch on the Saxons transition every time that really takes all the sting out of their opportunity. I'd like to see that ball player just receive, stand still and pivot and give that pass out early, because at the moment the Saxons transition isn't asking any questions of the Midlands Tigers, so they're just running up the box side and allowing Tigers to just fly up at them. If you can move that ball a little bit more expansive, move it wider, trust your hands, then the Midlands Tigers have to also mark that option. At the moment, Midlands are just defending one possibility, and it's super easy for them to do so.
Well, penalty though for the Saxons, bit of respite.
Yeah, a good opportunity to launch here, but they've got to go forward. See, look, first touch is taken at the same depth as the turnover, so they don't actually make any ground forward. And here, third touch, and it's this one that causes the problems, and they just take it up the middle. They just want to give that ball, because now you've got one. This is fifth coming. Your support is still getting onto the pitch.
Well, it might open up a little bit for them.
Oh, it was much better defensive work, but they might get a penalty for blocking off the ball. I think they will. The Midlands Tigers winger, didn't hit the onside line before he tried to get up into the face of the Saxons player.
Emery. Lynn. Emery finds Mant. Emery crashing through. Touch made. Mant goes short, and now there's 3 on the wrap. Mant goes the other way, and it's just in front of Kevin Kendall, and that might be the last attack of the half.
Yeah, I feel like it will be, although you can't write the Midlands Tigers off. They'll go hard in this transition, and you can see the difference between the two transitions is the amount of meters made off first touch for the Tigers, and then this is third already over the line, and then you've got fourth coming now. This is now fifth coming. They're rolling into the red zone with their dangerous strike players. Really good platform for the strike. Looks to go wide. They do. One more. It just goes to ground.
But almost coast to coast from the Midlands Tigers.
And I think that's the big difference you see between the two teams is Saxons just take the pace off to try and secure the ball, and Midland's Tigers are just going hell for leather.
A little bit of time left for the Saxons maybe to create something in this first half, but as the buzzer goes to indicate that we're into half-time of the first final on pitch one, and well, it's been more one-sided than the neutral would certainly like.
Half-time of the final game of the day.
It's one of those games where, from the Saxons' perspective, the basics in defence have been a little bit lacking. Yes, there's been magic from the Tigers. Some of those scores are beautiful, the catch and pass. But it seems like the Saxons' defence isn't quite moving as a unit as we saw in the game earlier on. For me, for the Saxons' perspective, that's the area to focus on. Is making sure that you're moving as a set of 6 rather than 6 individuals.
Well, as we head in the second half then, can the Southwest Saxons pose any kind of a comeback in this men's 40s final? They trail to the Midlands Tigers by 6 unanswered tries, with 20 minutes still to come in our final game of the day here on day 2 of the England Touch Association Nationals.
Fantastic job keeping us all the pitches maintained for us this weekend. And obviously all the volunteers and event staff in the background, making sure this event runs smoothly for you all. Officials, your 2-minute break. A reminder, there is a drop-off on this game.
So probably not come back to
Yeah,
I've joined you.
There is 1 minute interval at the end of the game, and then there is 2-minute hooter after that. So if your game does go to a hooter, a drop-off, and after the 3 minutes, there is still a tied game. The referees will then manage the time and the game themselves. We are getting close to the end of day 2 here in Nottingham. As always, thank you to everybody that's assisted so far. We've got 1 more day to go. Nice early start at 9 o'clock in the morning. So get yourselves ready for that. Ladies and officials, this is your 1 minute warning. 1 minute warning.
Go on, Exeter! And Will! You go, Kev! Go on, Saxon!
Ladies and officials, this is your 30-second warning. Please take to the field. We're ready to play.
Three finals then across the pitches here on the final game of the Second day of the 2024 ETA Nationals.
For the final time today for this final game of day 2.
On our final on
officials,
pitch
stand
1,
by.
unfortunately for the neutrals at least, it's pretty one-sided, Joe.
Yeah, it is. Midland's Tigers are just turning the screw in this game. And it's those two got on the ball first. Popoff and Bingley have just been the difference makers and immediately go round the outside and get to the 7. So they'll actually have 4 touches to play with, though there's a turnover ball there.
Well, it's the assistant referee on the left-hand touchline who called it. So the Saxons then will look to break from deep inside their own territory. Carried up by Westlake. And then into touch, looking for support from the sideline. A change of the guard. Just a little bit pedestrian at the moment, Joe.
Yeah, it's just a bit too slow. And, you know, they inject real good pace after the touch. But it's what you do before the touch that makes all the difference, because you need to be setting that offside line. You need to be going forward, running with momentum, running at players that are running backwards, trying to get back on side. And at the moment, that's the main difference, is Midland's Tigers, at the moment, just run against defenders who are trying to get on side. And the Saxons are running against defenders who are already on side.
Well, here's Little, who himself is having a good final. They've taken a bit of the pace out of it, but Little will re-inject. Jones, Little. Well, it was a good pass to the right-hand side, but it just didn't stick.
Yeah, not quite. It was a good option. We did have a couple of touches to play with, so maybe you want to look at, you know, holding onto that ball for a little bit longer and making the possession last the whole set of 6. But I mean, at the moment, you wouldn't necessarily be worried about that from a Midlands Tigers perspective, because all they're going to do is apply loads of pressure to this turnover and hopefully try and receive the ball back around midfield.
Touch from Cullen. Johnson carries it on. Percival. Emery. Good pick-up from Lynn. Mant. Good footwork. But he's been touched by Kenny. And then all the pace taken out of the attack, unfortunately.
Yeah, oh, that's unfortunate. I think there's been a hamstring pop there, and yeah, he does not look comfortable coming off the field. So I hope that that's nothing serious. It did look so. He just bent down to pick up the ball and then shot back up into the air. So I do hope that that's nothing serious and he's okay.
Rob Emery off the field in this final. The Midlands Tigers still lead by 6 unanswered tries. Hancock taking on Mant. Foster. Hancock again. Good work, and then charging through is Percival.
Yeah, and that ball had to be slapped away. A really dangerous position for the Tigers, and sort of got to the point where that was all the Saxons could do, is just bat that ball down and hope that the ball doesn't go to the wing, and it does. But you've surrendered another set of 6 at the line, and we know what the Tigers are capable of. There's a good covering touch there.
Hancock almost in. Cranston, Hancock. Cranston on the pick-off, finds Hancock again. Almost an interception there.
There's 6 more though.
Well, that is the risky run. Rigby. Hancock. Finds Rigby, who forces the touch well. Caught at the line. Hancock. A few tired bodies out there at the moment. And now look at the turning on the pace. Cranston finds Cullen with a long ball. How many more touches do Tigers have to burn here? Foster. Whistle goes.
Yeah.
Forward pass.
Yeah, spotted the infringement. And a better defensive set there from the Saxons, being able to defend the Tigers pretty well.
Percival takes it on. Lynn. Around comes Westlake. Westlake again.
Yeah, that'll be given touch and pass, unfortunately.
Penalty then for the Midlands Tigers, and with 15 minutes to go, they do lead by 6, and it doesn't look like anything's going to change that anytime soon. It was that fast start in the first half that really put this game to bed.
Yeah, they were really aggressive in the first 10 minutes and sort of did all of the damage then. Hasn't really had to worry about anything after that.
Here's Popoff. Finds Hall. Popoff again with a good quick ball and has it on the inside. Caught.
Draws the penalty as well. Offside, never hit the onside line.
Popoff will tap. Jean-Francois Popoff. Josh Bingley. Over he goes.
Touch is made.
Popoff. Bingley.
Yeah, good option from Popov there. They'd condensed the defence, and now you've got a 2-on-1 opportunity. Ball goes to the wing, goes down, and it's got to be said that Popov and Bingley have done all of the hard yards there by condensing the defence on the far side, and then the nice fire-up option, long ball out to the middle, and then it's your simple catch and pass as we saw. And they go over in the corner.
Little had some really good pace and set Stuart Cullen on his way.
Yeah, for sure. There's the pace injection there. Really sort of finished it off. But Midlands Tigers, I mean, just sort of rolling through their structure. There's not a lot of venom in the play anymore because this doesn't really have to be. They know that they're secure. They know that if they just do their job and don't surrender any needless scores, they'll be home and dry.
Mant, round the corner they go. This could be a score.
I think he's going to get an offside call, if not the score. Offside is given.
Penalty run by Richard Nineveh, who has offered the most. The Saxons, along with the number 4, Alistair Mann.
Yeah, for sure. These two seem like the people who are going to make something happen and stand the best chance of doing so.
Mann draws a touch, lifted by Williams. Nineveh brought back.
So what I'd like to see the Saxons do is draw the Tigers out a little bit more. It's all very static. Tigers only really have to go back a matter of moments, and yep, there's an infringement at the roll ball. It looked like the best opportunity for the Saxons to score, and they just can't quite get over.
Back with the Midlands Tigers then.
Yeah, Glenn Jones just up the middle again. That first touch on the transition has been absolutely killer for the Saxons.
Little draws another touch. And they're really on their way now. Foster, Hancock, good pass, Little caught. And that's the 6, but they've managed to drive the Saxons all the way back here.
And Saxons need to inject a bit of pace into this transition because this is second. Half is isolated.
Delightful little effort actually in the dummy from Kevin Kendall.
I mean,
doesn't go his way.
If you don't buy a ticket, as they say, you've got to try some stuff. But I mean, the Tigers at the moment are just so comfortable, rolling through their structure at will, picking up, scooping through off second because they know that they can. Have to find the final player. They do. It looks like the touch is there. It is, and that's third touch coming.
Creative from Hancock once again, though. Hancock. Little. Hancock with the lift. And Little darting for the corner. Touch made. Little. Hancock's there. Pushes the play. Cranston.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Midlands Tigers looking to run through their variations. There was an opportunity for the trail line on the inside. The Saxons again successful in their defence, and they're definitely leaking less scores so far in the second half.
Cranston, Hancock shooting out of the line to make the touch this time. Westlake. What can the Saxons create? There's a pretty physical touch there.
Yeah. Yeah, probably a little bit of frustration creeping in. And the Tigers are happy for it, and they'll just be able to get fresh legs on without having to sub. And here's the man who makes everything happen, Popov. Coming on with Bingley on his outside. Doesn't use him.
Bingley, Popov. Hall, Popov inside. Good interplay between the central players. Popov puts a bit of pace on.
That's
good
off the
pick
mark.
up, and there's a player offside, but off the mark is the first call.
Yeah, it's just slightly off the mark. I can see what they're trying to do, fizz the ball out to the link and then get the link punished almost immediately. But Josh Bingley, just the momentum carrying a little bit forward, and I think that's the example of the tired legs that are out there. Just a straightforward A to B pass going to ground. And Tigers will have a really good opportunity to get another score on the board.
Popov takes the touch and gets the return. Wonderful pass. Bingley's caught. Hall. Popov.
Yeah, good
Hall.
option.
Popov. Good footwork from Rigby.
Cool, Kev.
And another penalty, so that's 2 penalties on the line now.
He's just moving from left to right. And Bingley goes direct.
Yeah, offside call. Josh Bingley gets over. He gets another score on the board.
And the player who made the touch was offside, so Bingley's score will stand. That's 8 now for the Tigers. Still with 8 minutes to go in this final, which after the first few minutes was already decided, it seems, Joe.
Yeah, for sure. I just think the Tigers have more in the tank. They run a little bit more direct in their structure. And the Saxons, I mean, we saw this morning that they can handle it and they can run this Tiger side close. It's just not quite happened for them in this final. It seems like Tigers have saved more than the Saxons, and it's paying dividends here.
Well, we've got our semi-finals.
Saxons do get a score on the board though, popping round the outside. They do get their reward for sticking in the fight. And again, just those good hands round the outside. 1, 2, nice dummy to fix the winger. Ball goes. Well executed.
Well, there's a men's open playoff also taking place between the Tigers and the Saxons. And the winner of that will be facing Northwest Touch tomorrow at 10 to 11. The women's 27 semi-final has been decided against, it's the Midlands Tigers against the Wildcats.
Ooh, that'll be good. That'll be a really good fixture. Oh, unlucky, almost juggled it in. But it just doesn't quite happen, and Tigers again have an early turnover and an opportunity to strike, but they're just strolling.
Won't trouble them at the moment. Hancock hands it off to Cranston. Hancock on the run. Some lovely stepping. Hancock lofted pass, almost an interception. A crucial hand in there regardless.
I think they've given the forward pass first. They have indeed. So Saxons will have an opportunity now to get some fresh legs on. It's a better first touch.
Mant with the initial carry. And with the third as well. And here come the substitutes. Hancock makes the touch. What can they create? That's a great pickup, to be fair to them. And Will Lush driving on, but it won't end in anything more significant than a turnover to the Tigers. Hancock.
Oh, unfortunate. I think that might be the first error we've seen in the Tigers transition. So a good opportunity now for the Saxons.
Nineveh with a couple of dummies, caught by Little. Stewart. Nineveh.
See, the Saxons just sort of dancing around in this area and not really attacking at the line, and the Tigers are just forcing them backwards and backwards, and it seems like the Saxons are slowly running out of ideas. And there's the scoop coming. That's good, injection of pace. Ball almost gets picked up, just goes to ground. And you had a fresh set of 6 there. I would have liked to see you get to the line early doors and have a couple cracks at the line. Instead, they just played around a little bit too much and ended up losing a lot of ground and relying on a scoop on 5th.
Well, this final might not have produced the nail-biting conclusion of day 2 that we were after, but it's been a pretty excellent performance from the Midlands Tigers regardless.
Yeah, it's been really good, really professional from the Midlands Tigers, just not making any mistakes when ball is in hand, doing the basics well when they get to the line and running everything with intensity. And I mean, Midlands Tigers have just been so comfortable in this division all the way through, and I think this performance in the final really does justify A, why they're here, and B, why they're probably going to come away with the win. Thoroughly well deserved.
Tigers then back in possession. Couple of minutes to go here. The result never in doubt. Jones with a good carry. They could look to add something more. Higson, Jones, good pickup. And he's in the end zone, and that's the pass that he needed to find. And Kenny dots down for a 9th try for the Tigers.
Yeah, and again, it just comes from running your basics at speed. Pick up, go left, pump, fix the link, goes through. Link sort of loses his man, tired legs. And the Tigers just having more in the tank than the Saxons, coming up to just over 2.5 minutes left in the final, and Midlands Tigers have been on top for pretty much all of the 40 minutes.
Westlake gets a pass away. Good pickup. Back with Westlake. Inside pass goes to ground. Tigers will come away with it. Hancock. And this time it's put down, and well, as we approach full time here at the end of a long day, starting to see the impact of the physical sides of touch rugby.
Yeah, for sure. It's so physically demanding and mentally taxing as well. It's one of those sports that really does reward you if you can think and play at the same time, but being able to think and play comes with a lot of energy expenditure. And at the moment, it seems like the Tigers have been able to manage that better throughout this tournament in the division. And the Saxons just seem to be exhausted on their feet. But that's a lovely long ball. Looks to dive in the corner with that 6-touch and turnover.
Well, very impressive defending from Kevin Foley. Got across to make that touch even when 9-1 up in the closing stages. Scything run from Hancock. Here's Popov. Foley there again. Bingley. Popov. Bingley. Popov on the inside line. Draws a touch. Hall. Popov again. Caught. And that's the turnover.
Yes, Saxons! Yes, Saxons!
Under a minute to go here. The Tigers with that blitzkrieg in the first half, really.
Yeah, it really was, and all the damage was done in the first 5 minutes, and after that they've just sort of cruised through the rest of the game, run their structure as and when they want to. They take their time on turnovers. It's been a thoroughly professional performance from the Tigers. 20 seconds to go. They'll look to maybe get into double digits in the final.
Foley.
Oh, intercept.
Well, it's a good interception from Lush. Mant. Teasing footwork. Well, there he goes. It's an excellent winding run from Will Lush, and Mant is caught by Little, so that'll bring an end to the 40s competition, and it is the Midlands Tigers who come out on top. They were far and away the best team in this final, as they have been across the competition, and there were no late shocks here.